Hey everybody, Adam Davidson, RadCast, radamdavidson.com. We're going to be in Psalm 20 this morning, starting at verse 6. Goes a little something like this. Now this I know, the Lord gives victory to his anointed. He answers from his heavenly sanctuary with the victorious power of his right hand. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God. They are brought to their knees and fall, but we rise up and stand firm. Lord, give victory to the King. Answer us when we call. Slight bit of background. Psalm 20 is a prayer for the king before the king goes out to battle. Back in the day, maybe it would help for you to think of a Lord of the Rings type era. The king would prepare to go out in battle, and all of the people would get around the king, and they would pray for his victory and would ask God to help him win, right? So, and that's why it starts with someone saying, now this I know, because he's encouraging the king. So these days, not a lot of monarchy going on, at least probably not in your world. In fact, we have one king, it's Jesus, and then there's all of us. So it's a little different, right? But yet there are similarities. For example, you have a certain responsibility that God has given you over a house or a family or a job or a career or just a trajectory of life, whatever that is. We would see that as a gift from God to you, that this is your little kingdom, if you will, right? Like, we don't want to get too big of a head about it because the crown pops right off. But we do want to remember that God has given us a certain sort of responsibility. So what they're saying to their king is, man, we are praying for your success. We know that God gives victory to his anointed. You and I, if we are followers of Jesus, have a very similar promise in that we know that God is with us. He's Emmanuel. We know that we have the Spirit of God in us, the wind of God moving us and leading us and giving us power for the day. And in much the same way, just as the people said to the king, some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God. They weren't saying that because they didn't have chariots and horses. They had all of these tools for warfare at their disposal. It wasn't that they didn't have them, it was that they trusted God even though they had them. So for you and I, it might be, some trust in financial security and business acumen, some trust in skill set and a great connective network with other peers and coworkers. And we would say, no, we don't trust in that. We trust in the Lord our God, who grants victory to those who call out to him, which is why the psalm ends by saying, Lord, give victory to the king, which in this case would be you and I, little kings and little queens of our little world. And then the last line of the psalm, answer us when we call. Just a great reminder that this isn't just a one-off and forget about it, that we need to be aware of his presence every day. There's a youth group song. If you're from that era, it goes like this. Some trust in chariots, some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God. And then there's another part of it, and the very last line is waka-ka-ka. Do you remember that? If not, it may just be because it's not from your era. Eminem never sang it. That's RadCast.